Milo the Lost Teddy Bear by Snuggle Blossom. Once, there was a small teddy bear named Milo. His fur was the color of warm honey, and his eyes were shiny black buttons. His smile was stitched with thick, friendly brown thread. Milo's world was soft and warm. He lived in the back of a car, a cozy place that rumbled and moved. He remembered being pressed close to something warm, held by a small pair of hands. He remembered the sound of happy songs and soft laughter. And he remembered a special scent, a wonderful smell of clean soap and sweet vanilla. This was Milo's world, and he loved it. The car would rumble, the songs would play, and the warm hands would hold him tight. He was a happy and much-loved bear. Then, one day, the car went over a big bump. Boing! Milo tumbled through the air in a surprise somersault. He landed with a soft poof in a patch of tall green grass by the side of the road. The grass tickled his nose. He sat up and watched as the car, his whole world, rumbled on down the road. It grew smaller and smaller, and then it disappeared. It never stopped. At first, Milo was not worried. He was a patient bear. He sat very still in the tall grass and waited. They will come back, he thought to himself. His stitched smile was still on his face. He was sure they would miss him and turn around. He waited as the bright afternoon sun made the grass warm around him. He watched little white butterflies dance in the air. The sun began to set. The sky turned from blue to a soft orange, then a gentle pink, and finally a deep, dark blue. One by one, the stars began to twinkle above him. Milo had never seen so many stars before. From inside the car, the night had always been just a few lights passing by. Out here, the night was a vast, quiet, and beautiful thing. A cool breeze rustled the grass, and Milo felt a little bit cold. A tiny sliver of worry began to creep into his heart. He waited all through the long, quiet night, but the road stayed empty. When the morning came, the sun rose and warmed his fur, but no one came for him. The happy certainty he had felt was gone. In its place was a deep, quiet sadness. A single tear, made of morning dew, rolled down his fuzzy cheek. Rain began to fall, soft at first, then harder. Milo's warm, honey-colored fur became wet and heavy. The wind blew, and it turned him over onto his back. He lay there, looking up at the gray sky, feeling very small and very lost. The sun came out again and dried his fur, but it was not the same. It was stiff now, and the sun had faded its color to a pale yellow. The world was not a soft, cozy place anymore. The seasons began to change. The bright green grass turned to a crunchy, golden brown. Red and yellow leaves fell from the trees and drifted down, covering him like a light blanket. Then the air grew very cold. One morning he woke up covered in something soft and white. It was snow. The snow was cold, but it was also a quiet, peaceful blanket. It tucked him in and made the whole world silent. Milo slept under the snow, a long, still sleep. When he woke up, the snow was melting. The sun felt warm again. This was spring. The earth smelled wet and new. Green shoots of grass grew up tall around him, weaving a little green shelter just for him. A family of birds built a nest in a bush nearby. Milo would listen to their happy chirping all day long. A curious fox with a bushy tail came and sniffed him once, its wet nose twitching, before it ran off into the woods. Milo started to listen. He had spent so much time waiting for a familiar sound, the sound of the car. Now he began to listen to the quiet world that was his new home. He heard the low humming of fuzzy bees as they visited the white clover flowers. He heard the gentle pitter-patter of spring rain on the big leaves above him. He heard the whispering of the wind as it told stories to the tall grass. He discovered new kinds of warmth here, too. It was not the warmth of being held in loving arms. It was the warmth of the morning sun filtering through the leaves, making soft, glowing patterns on his fur. It was the warmth that came from the buzzing life of the bees in the clover field. It was the warmth of the dark, rich earth after a summer storm. The world itself was holding him now, in its own big, quiet way. He was still a lost bear, but he was not lonely anymore. One morning, after a very long time had passed, a soft breeze drifted by. It carried a scent with it. It was a faint smell, but Milo knew it right away. It was the smell of clean soap and a sweet hint of vanilla. His little sawdust-filled heart gave a gentle stir. The memory, so old and faded, was suddenly bright again. The wind seemed to whisper, "This way, this way." For the first time since he had fallen, Milo felt a reason to move. He had learned to be still. Now, he would learn to walk. He pushed himself up on his faded, lumpy paws. Step by tiny, wobbly step, he began to walk, following the scent on the wind. The journey was not easy. The tall grass that had been his shelter was now a thick jungle he had to push through. Green stems bent and swayed around him like giant trees, but he kept his button nose pointed forward, always searching for that sweet, familiar scent. He came to a large puddle from a morning shower. To a bigger creature, it was nothing, but to a small bear like Milo, it was a wide, shimmering lake. He could not walk through it. He looked at the rippling water for a long moment. Then, patiently, he began to walk all the way around its muddy edge. His paws got damp and muddy, but he did not mind. The scent was a little stronger on the other side, and that was all that mattered. A fallen branch lay across his path, a great rough log in his way. He put his little paws on the bark and began to climb. It was like climbing a mountain. He pulled his lumpy body up, his stitched smile facing the sky, and then he slid down the other side with a soft thump. He was tired, but he was not afraid. The world was not as scary when you learned to move with it. He passed a patch of bright yellow dandelions and paused, watching a ladybug crawl up a single green stem. He felt a sense of friendship with these small, quiet travelers. He followed the scent through fields of sweet-smelling clover, along the roadside where wildflowers bloomed, until he saw it. The small white house, sunlight glowing in its windows. The door was open, curtains fluttering like the pages of a memory. With a final push of strength, Milo climbed the wooden porch steps. His fur was pale and weathered, and his button eyes were not as shiny as they once were, but his stitched smile was still there, and it was gentle and full of peace. The house was quiet. It did not feel empty, just still. He found his way to a big window that looked out over the garden. He remembered this spot. He slowly climbed up onto the sunny windowsill where he once belonged. The warm light fell on him like a gentle, loving embrace. He was not the same bear who had tumbled out of the car so long ago. He had known the rain and the sun, the snow and the wind. He had learned the language of the quiet world. He was home, and he had brought the peace of his long journey with him.